Okay. Here we go. I think we are live. Let's go. Let's talk about Web3. Episode. Shit, now I'm forgetting. It was
18.
We are here. We are back. Last episode was a blast. I think that's what I'm here for, was building more of those experiences with people, maybe less of the interview style and more of the workshop style. I like that. So I'm going to start off with our gratitude. I'm grateful this week for having had that opportunity with GSD. I've been chatting with him over the last week, getting him a little bit more prepared. We made an initial basic, ZAO artist page for him as well. So we're going to, help him build from here. We're, I think, at 4 out of 15 minted, same as we were yesterday. But I think last week, but we are having a space tomorrow. He's hosting his first space. And we're going to be sharing a little bit more about the song, about himself. And that's going to be a blast. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to help this artist get on chain and to start this journey, right? It's just a blast. I'm excited to see where he goes, because the beauty of it is, like, I have no idea where to advise him to go, because it's just like it could be millions of different places. It's like I just want to present him with a bunch of different options and see what he likes, right? And I think that's the best thing you can do for someone. So I'm thankful and grateful for the opportunity for that. I'm going to kick it over to Easy. What are you thankful for this week?
I am feeling thankful for music. It just has a way to unite people, to lift the vibes. Last week we did that workshop, helping to create a music NFT. And like you're saying, instead of maybe, which interviews are great too, but instead of just talking to someone about what they want to do, if you're actually walking them through processes and giving them tools, it's teaching someone to fish instead of giving them that fish. Then it's you never know. I've had people, that I onboarded that years later are just doing crazy, insane, cool stuff. So you never really know where it goes, but you can open the door and sort of plant the seed. So I'm feeling grateful for music. We just had an Impact concert yesterday too, which was a great vibe. So always grateful to have music in my life. See?
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm grateful for Twitch. I'm grateful for this community, bro. Y'all showing up heavy. It's been a blast, man. Like the chat's already going crazy, man. It's I'm just, the digital tools for networking are crazy, and just the ability to, Twitter's all right. X is okay, but it's it's punching a wall sometimes for the Ohnahji fan. But coming over to the Twitch side, the little younger generation and stuff, it's a blast. So I'm thankful for just building community over here, and it's going crazy. So,
I didn't think about that. It's definitely the younger generation. No one that's my parents' age is watching streamers. So it's
right.
There is definitely the ability to actually have someone change their opinions.
Facts.
Right? When they're not be set in their ways, right? I think that's a big key piece of the conversation of blockchain and why it matters. But I'm gonna say W to all these amazing folks in here. We'll pull up everyone. W the Century for popping in.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Did we decide how to pronounce this?
Oh, I just said Volks. Volks is the folks.
Hopefully that's right. Wagner was good, fam. Thanks for popping in. Shaw. I'll appreciate all you guys. If you guys have any questions about blockchain, you've been here, whether it's Let's Talk About Web3, whether it's Ohnahji apps, whether it's any other thing, and you've heard something about an NFT, blockchain, cryptocurrency, ask your questions now. Because to be honest with you, I have a little bit planned, but it's not anything crazy. So if you guys don't have questions, we're just gonna do it. But if you guys have any questions, I'm excited to chat. I'm feeling in a good mood. I haven't talked to Easy in a minute. Ohnahji B and I have been working on the streaming in different capacities. So it's just good to have the three of us here. To be honest with you, I didn't do my job in having a lot prepared in terms of the stuff to send out. But the cool thing about this is we're just here and vibing. So
I love
the Apple campus. That's hilarious. Sorry.
Getting interaction and questions from our lovely viewers is like the most exciting part about it, because then you're like breaking that fourth wall through the screen, and you're actually, you know, and it's great to be able to help someone out if they have like a legitimate concern about something they were gonna do, or they just have a general question, or like anything, some off the wall question. Like, it's always awesome to have that. And I'm on a single device today on the phone. I'm out and about, so I don't have the Twitch and the retake up today, but yeah, you guys can definitely feed in questions if we get them. Hopefully we do, and if not, we'll still have a great show.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. W for being outside. I was outside earlier, man. It's like weather's perfect, man. So
well, it's crazy. Yesterday was just brutally hot, like insanely hot, like too hot to be in the sun. And today it's like rainy. So it's just it's I was not expecting to like come over. I have a dental appointment right at the end of the show, and I was like, man, it's gonna be brutal over there tomorrow. And then here I am in like a sweatshirt. So
there you go. That's too funny. I did see, I don't know if you guys have seen one of the news pieces I did see, you know, regarding Web3.
Bro, there's a lot that's happened.
I haven't seen a lot.
I don't know what you're about to say, but
has to do with Y Combinator.
Okay, no, I have no idea what you're gonna say. I have
cool,
way more in the crypto weeds then. I was gonna say, bro, there's this whole like thing that happened in the last day and a half with Rainbow and the Clankers.
Oh yes.
Right? Like, did you see like I only saw one of the tweets. I didn't realize there was like a flurry of I had not seen the response from the Clanker guy. And then like it was like fuzzy, and then apparently everyone got a tip about it. But it's very interesting.
Dang, I missed the drama. I was just impact concert vibe, and then, you know, just taking care of stuff.
I caught it in today's GM Farcaster. That's where I caught the you know, got the merch. You know,
there you go.
Appreciate them for giving us all the alpha on Farcaster, because you know, like that's, to be honest with you, like where I get all my information.
Yeah, it's a great show.
You know,
so give us a little rundown on it. Give us a little.
So Rainbow, I don't know too much about it. So like the understanding I have is there was some back end negotiations. The Clanker didn't want Rainbow to be, whether it was acquired or have a part of like buying them out, and then Rainbow tried to appeal, I guess, to their token holders, to which apparently they don't have a lot of tokens of their actual initial token, because the original OG Clanker was in this V0 version where like they actually had to buy the token, and it wasn't like anything that was, you know, utilitied in where like they could split some of it. So it's just like an interesting conversation where like after a company has some back end negotiation, then they take it public to appeal to a token group that technically doesn't have governance, but it's like an interesting proposition. It's just like interesting all around. And yeah, I think it's then they asked the conversation. They were like, okay, well, do you use Rainbow? There was it was Nounish Prof and Burr initially, and they had the conversation saying that like neither of them did, because they just like fell into using MetaMask. But apparently Adrian does and used it a lot. So it's interesting, because it's like everyone has their like one wallet preference as well, because like Hurricane's kind of like Phantom, and you know, it's interesting. And I'm a Rabby guy myself personally. I'm not a MetaMask person, but yeah, it's like everyone has their like wallet of choice that they got locked into.
That's funny,
because they all have now the same stuff. Because it used to be like a thing where like one had this, but the other had that, right?
Facts.
It's pretty much, you know, most wallets are even. Some might have more like little reward systems. I know Rainbow has their little like, you get rewarded the more, you know, things you trade or what you do on there. I will say that I'd been using Rainbow for, you know, a year or more than a year, probably close to 2 years. And on my last phone upgrade, my shit doesn't work. I can't swap, I can't send funds out. Luckily, I didn't have much funds in there, and I've reached out to support, and they're like, oh, just like delete the app and reinstall it with your seed phrase. Doesn't work. I've done it a bunch of times. It's like, it's my Rainbow wallet's jacked. So I'm definitely not a fan of Rainbow. I thought, like, you know, when I used it for a while, it's like, it's a decent wallet. It doesn't really do much like different than, I don't know, Trust or MetaMask or whatever, you know, that like you mentioned, most wallets are pretty equivalent across the board. except for when you can't do anything with your funds. That gets frustrating. So yeah, like I definitely soured on Rainbow after trying multiple times to delete and reinstall from seed phrase. And you know, it hasn't been able to be functional. Like it shows up, but I get errors anytime I try and trade, swap, or send. So pretty much like my little bit in there is pretty much hostage. I think it's only a couple $100. Luckily, I never like put much into my Rainbow. I was sort of experimenting with it, checking it out because I, you know, heard some good things about it. Hopefully it'll get sorted at some point, you know, one of these updates or something, like hopefully magically like, oh, it's working. But yeah, so always interesting to see when things go from behind the scenes negotiations to out in public. And then there's like these weird kind of like, not necessarily social extortions, but it's like they're like trying kind of like, I don't know. It's just it's a weird kind of
market, like
it's kind of odd. Like there's, you know,
it's different when that's the initial approach, right?
Right. If a team goes public with like, hey, we're looking to, you know, sell, and there's like offers and things are sort of done in public from the start, that's kind of a different story. Something else, you know, along, you know, maybe semi-similar lines is CryptoVoxels, like one of the super OG metaverses, you know, was fully roaring in like 2019. In 2020. Ben Nolan's been the, you know, owner, CEO, creator for since then. He's brought in some different teams and had, you know, different people working with him. And it's sort of like fell to the wayside for a while because he wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do with it and stuff. But recently, I guess he's been having a little traction and like he's, you know, tweeting like, oh, I'm talking to like, you know, these 10 different big brands about possible sales. But then he's like putting weird stuff out there like, oh, if you want to make an offer for like X amount, I don't know, 300 ETH or whatever it was, it's just like, it's kind of weird. So we've actually all been trying to get him to just make Rizzle the CEO and like, you know, sign it over to the community or something. But yeah, there's always, it's very interesting once things go into that public realm when you're talking about, you know, a metaverse or a wallet or you know, one of these tools or platforms that we all use.
Yeah. Interesting.
Cool.
I am so like out of the loop with all this. Like Clinker is essentially like a pump.fund but on base.
I mean, but it's very different than a pump.fund. That's the thing.
In what ways? What do
I'll
you?
show you. Let me share this screen instead. This is Clanker.world, right?
Yeah.
So like the difference is here, right? Like
this is the token creation screen.
Yeah, let's say I was to create a token, right? You put an image, whatever that is, and the difference here is like there is then like pump, right? Like that's basically it. There's a dev buy,
right?
Like the full 15th option or whatever, right? Yeah. How much you want to dev buy. And then there's a fee configuration where you can have static fees or dynamic fees. I think dynamic up to 3%, or like you can pick. And then all of the, I mean, there is this box, right, where it's where do you want the money to go? But I think it actually, there isn't even this box on pump.fund. It just goes to the creator's wallet. So you could change that wallet, and you can change the admin versus the reward recipient. So you can make the admin a specific person in a DAO and make the reward or reward like the treasury, but the admin like a multi-sig or something like that. Right?
Okay.
So then you also can choose what type of reward token you get. So you probably want to do ETH so you never mess up the chart, because you can always put it back in. And then you can choose to do, I guess, old configuration, which you can choose the starting market cap, or the Clanker recommended just right at 10. I don't know what that is, but that's, I guess, just basic. But here's like where it really gets cool, where you can do a couple cool things. So you can put whatever percentage of your token into a vault. Like here they have a thing set here for 50, but like 30, but you get to like technically type in whatever you want, right? So 30 is the highest like quick buy, right? And then there's a lockup and vesting period, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then of course I said the creator buy, and then the last thing is you can actually just airdrop however much you want to any people at after a certain amount of time as well. So it's just like very different. It's very base theme, right? Like it's up the EVM side, right? Like that's the cool thing about it. That's is really cool, and that's all like V4, right? Like that's not all been there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've fired up a few Clanker tokens, but it was literally just in the Farcaster, feed. Yeah. You're just like, hey, Clanker, make this token with this image, and this is the ticker, and it just does everything for you. It's like it's you so
just don't
easy.
Have those extra options, right?
I'm sure you could go in and tell it
some. I'm pretty sure
more, or you could go like to the page that you went to. But the fact that you can just say like, hey, Clanker, make this token, and it just does it all on the back end, and all you have to do is give it like an image, a name, and a ticker is kind of crazy. Like, and there's been so many random tokens created that at first I was like, I don't know, that's just like, it could just lead to a bunch of nonsense, which of course there's some, but it also is really cool to be that flexible and easy to fire something up.
Yeah. It's so crazy, like how different this is. Like, in the gas fees, like on these smart contracts, is next to nothing now. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I love it. But okay, so Rainbow, OG Crypto Wallet, was trying to purchase Clinker in its entirety, or
a portion of it, I guess. Here, I'll pull up the.
Okay.
I'll pull up both, I guess, and we can go through it.
I mean, like what?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I wonder what they see there that makes them want to have some ownership. It's like, so maybe they're looking at like Zora, and they're like, oh, Zora's tokenizing all sorts of stuff. Like, we need to do some kind of like tokenization game besides just being a wallet that gives a little reward for your activity, which is as much as I kind of know.
So, so the other difference is I met this dude in Boston, right here. This guy, one of the co-founders of Clanker, dope ass dude, right? Okay, and I clanked my idea of Boston Sports DAO while I was at Fenway.
Right.
But because of an error, I accidentally clanked 4. And I was also then less excited about it because of that. He hid the other 3, thankfully. But still,
you made 4 of them?
Yeah, because it said it was an error and it didn't create it.
Got you.
Right? So
that's frustrating.
I have no idea what happened with the other 3, but we hit them. The first one that was made had like 3 buyers, which is cool. I actually really like that there's not a lot of like traditional like volume right there in it. And the cool thing is like you can build that like token more organically. So I did meet this dude in interesting. That seems body. I can't tell Hugh. Do you know who Huey? But if you do, maybe you should chat a little bit more instead of just like sending a Discord username. But I digress. We'll continue. So I met Dish. I was taking an elevator down to chat with Hurricane because he was sitting downstairs, and I decided to essentially he was happened to be in the elevator with me. I was pitching talking to him a little bit about my idea and saying I was enjoying Clanker. So it was really cool to see like his opinion on like I was telling him more and more, and he was like, "Oh, this is like really cool, really exciting." So went, grabbed Chipotle, walked back, and just like chat with him for a bit. So it was just like really cool, have a conversation with him. Very dope dude from the Boston area as well. So and the cool thing about something like that, and like same thing with Pump.Fun, is like technically you can always like potentially launch it again. Like if you really don't get the volume or like attention or whatever, you like if there aren't like the right people. And the cool thing is you could like just grab those 2 holders and just airdrop them a portion of the new one, right? So, like, there is like that continuality you could potentially do. But anyways, I digress. It's pretty cool. Here's the post though that he posted. I don't know where he didn't even.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
He didn't even retweet the thing, but yeah. So I don't know where Rainbow is. If they'll at Rainbow,
it's just so interesting when like people start like leaking emails and stuff. It's like, I would not advise
Yeah.
any of my homies to do that. You know what I'm
So
saying?
they wanted to buy 10% of the Clanker token.
Oh, that okay.
Or something like that.
That's okay. That's okay. That's a little different. That's cool. That's not.
Yeah, there's a whole ass proposal
For Rainbow to buy 10%, huh?
or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. This seems way more confusing now reading it. I can't tell, to be honest with you. This would require me to chat with AI personally and have a conversation with ChatGPT so that I could understand.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, just the premise is interesting. Like, my first question was like, what do they see as a big enough benefit to like hold 10% of Clanker? Like what is.
I mean, like it's these upgrades, right? Like it's like after through thick and thin, these like two co-founders, Jack Dishman and Moon Pappy, have like been a huge part of the Farcaster ecosystem. It seems like seeing like how much like other things are built on top of it. I mean, like the whole Clankermon like game.
I'm playing every day.
I don't play every day. I just chat back.
What's the Clanker?
So the only thing that is kind of a bummer is now I guess there's enough people playing it, which is a good sign, to where sometimes it says like gas is high and you can deposit some ETH into your Clankermon game wallet and then pay yourself. But I'm like, hell nah. I'm gonna wait till like late at night or whenever I come back later and send my Clankermons into the dungeon. I raised like 6 baby mons over the course of like a year, just like someday this might be something. And now you make token like by just doing these little battles and like you win different stuff. You can sell the stuff that you win in these like dungeon battles back to the store for Clankermon token. And of course, then you can buy stuff from the store with it, like, reveal health potions or battle potions or whatever. It's like, it's pretty fucking dope. Like it's cool. I don't know how. I assume it's kind of popular because like the gas thing is only new as to like maybe the last week. And previously from the drop until just like maybe 5-6 days ago, I had never seen that. So I assume it's seeing growth. It's kind of like a casual game, but there's the whole process of like evolving your baby mon and stuff too. So it's fairly dynamic.
So when I have one mon, there he is, and I bought it after I had a couple of baby mons at some point where we had we got a raid of 8 people. Hell yeah!
Woo! Word. Let's see. Gang in a building. What's going on, gang? W Ray. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to you.
We're just talking about a little new Pokemon game that there is on this blockchain website. So essentially, all of the Pokemons are different Clankers, which is really
they're all tokens. So yeah, I have like a QR. I have an Opsis. I have a runner. Like, it's like you're hoping for a certain token, but it's totally random luck of the draw. Like I was like, oh, I want a tip in and I want a noise and I want a this and a that. But, and I guess they do have maybe different attributes too. So some might have more speed and some might have more strength. It's like, it's a pretty cool whole little ecosystem for a game on Farcaster. I think it's one of the most advanced.
That's amazing. Cool. All right, real quick chat. Yeah, DJ said I heard Clankers. Yeah, Clankers a little different than the connotation y'all probably thinking about. But we're diving into this is Let's Talk About Web3 episode 18. We do these Wednesday nights with my 2 amazing co-hosts, Better Call Zaal and EZinCrypto. Some news this week was that Rainbow and OG Crypto. Ethereum-based wallet was trying to actually buy a portion or some equities, whatever, within this Clinker.world. Clinker.world is a token, a crypto token, meme coin launcher type of vibe. So we're going into the lore. They're telling me all about Clankermon. It's like a Pokemon type vibes.
But it's just like another team that built in the ecosystem that's supporting the whole ecosystem because every single I think a portion of whatever some transaction of your mon that is that token is going back to that token. So it's just like these teams are creating network effects where like these other teams are now in building, trusting this team to continue on because they're building their whole product on it, right? That's crazy. Yo, what's good, DJ?
The other part too is like, you know, to answer Easy's question, like speculating, I've seen a lot of talk like where Farcaster users are like the Farcast wallet, like that's what I'm using. That's like my daily driver for a lot of people.
It's pretty good.
So that makes sense for Rainbow to be like, well, hold on, what about us? You know what I'm saying?
Right, to get a piece of a little piece of the ecosystem. I mean, and if you have Pro, your fees are also reduced. So like, you know, sometimes it's free instead of paying a penny or two. Sometimes if, you know, there's more transactions going on, it would be 6 cents. You're paying 2 or 3 cents. So it is like, it's not like my main wallet, but I do a lot of things within the Farcaster ecosystem using that wallet. It's not like somewhere I hold like, you know, a majority of funds, but I have some funds in there that I've built up basically within the ecosystem anyways. And then I'm trading and swapping and selling and buying and playing and tipping and, you know, doing all this stuff. And the wallet is holding up. And I remember, you know, when it first came out, it was kind of janky and like, you know, there would be cast from the team like, you know, what do you want to see us prioritize? And a lot of people were saying wallet, like, you know, both like functionality, security, smooth operation, and they've really done a good job at addressing that. The only thing it's missing is like limit orders. I want to be able to do that. Then it would be like, you know, it would be the wallet I'm using most of the time.
That's too funny. My Rainbow journey is so interesting too, because I only just really started like diving into Rainbow after I got this Mac and like when I've been like, you know, streaming and like after Christmas. That's the only because you know it's a Mac and that was the easiest one for Mac desktop or whatever. So that's like my daily driver on here. But on my phone, it's like more like the backup to other things. So and on Windows, I use OKX still, you know, so. But I'm starting to get back into MetaMask too a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, OKX is fire. It's a little sleeping giant. It's I think they're based in Singapore, so they're heavily in that.
Okay, because I've heard of an OKX like app that's a swapping app, like a centralized exchange. Is that the same thing?
Yep, they got a wallet and they got a bunch of products that we can't use in the U.S. because you know regulations and stuff. But
you know, that might their monopoly.
That might change slowly, but surely. Hopefully, we get, you know, staking with rewards coming back and things like that. So we're, you know, there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, I think. But yeah, I haven't used OKX a lot, but yeah, I would look at it sort of like, you know, you've got the exchange and the wallet, similar to how Coinbase has Coinbase and then Coinbase Wallet.
Yep.
100%.
I started with MetaMask, so that's still one of my go-tos. And then Trust was one of the other earliest wallets I had. It was like Trust and MetaMask. Well, and Binance, before they took away all the good stuff for everybody in the US and gave us the shitty Binance US that does nothing and holds like a couple tokens, I had to sell and like just get rid of all my early stuff that I was like, oh, like because Binance Pro or whatever it was called was so dope. It was so great for trading and just like I was learning on that. In fact, BNB has been on fire, bro. I'm watching Bitcoin go from like, you know, 110 to 116 back and forth there. I'm watching ETH go between 41 and 45. I'm watching XRP go between $2.80 and $3.10. And they're going up and then back down and up and back down. BNB has just gone from like, what, like in the last few months, like 700 to 800 to 900 to over 1,000.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why Binance is so hot right now, but the token is cooking.
100%. Well, we have 30 minutes here, maybe a little bit less because he has to go a little bit early. So we'll try and do a little quick Collab.Land action here. Show a little token gating off. Do a little workshop as well. But I see we got Hale in the building as well. What's good? my guy, we are going to be tokenating the same NFT from last week and making a channel that is only for the holders of this NFT. So the cool thing about Collab.Land is it does most of the work for you. The thing about Discord bots is you need to add them into your server. So I have already done that. Maybe we'll do that in the next one from the start in a different server. But this is just showing once you've done that and added it to your server, this is showing you the UI for the dashboard. So I have a couple in here already that I have done for past filters, one for a different NFT and one for community members of the month. So one of the cool things we can do here is we can add a new one. So the way Collab.Land works with Discord is that you get a role when you confirm your confirmation of an NFT. So I'm going to real quick go over to Discord and just add this role as another role. And we will.
While you're doing that, I'll just say, when adding a bot of any kind to your Discord server, you want to double, triple verify that it is the correct bot from the source, and that you didn't just like Google like, oh, I want to add this bot, and then like take exactly what you see first, because there have been instances where malicious bots have been copycatted and stuff. But Collab.Land is OG. And it is, you know, pretty awesome, but you still want to always verify your source, where you're getting that bot from. Make sure you go through like direct channels.
100%. Awesome. GESD. Cool. I have made the role. Make the color a little different, and there it goes. Let's see if we refresh what we're gonna get. If we're gonna get it as an option. So yeah, the cool thing about Collab.Land is it just will give the opportunity to make a smaller group of individuals who have a specific contract anywhere in the Web3 ecosystem. So we're gonna do this for last week's song, GSD. Maybe we can also just play it while we're doing this, because banging song, and vibe out to it. And I'm just gonna start doing this, and feel free to share if anyone does anything, and I need to share more about it.
Now, with Collab.Land, I believe you could also add multiple contracts. So like if you wanted to have a chat between people that hold a couple of different NFTs from different projects but are somehow aligned, that you could do that as well.
Maybe I should. I don't know. The chat said it's all gibberish anyway, so I don't know. The current chat says it's gibberish, so I'll go very high level if I can. It's asking me to essentially now find what item on the blockchain you want to connect to, so that the people that have that item can be the only people that see this group chat, or I guess get this role, really. So when you get the role, you get the private group chat. So we named it GSD. The chain we minted on last week was base, and the token was a 1155 for the song. And the token address here is actually the smart contract address, the first thing we made, versus the second thing we made, which was the NFT. And since we made the first NFT on this smart contract address, it's 0. If we made another NFT, it would be 1, and that's because computers start with 0 instead of 1. And the balance is asking here, how many does someone need to have, right, to be part of this? So boom, they only need to have 1. You can also do attributes. So if someone has like a specific hair color of a special NFT or something like that, you can also hide that. So boom, that's it. That's kind of all it takes. And then I'm going to share over to Discord as well. You can see then the you on the UI side how it works.
So if that was a token instead of an NFT, you could say holders with 1,000 or 10,000. You know, the X that you have to hold at least X amount to be able to get it.
Minimum balance.
So the way Collab.Land works is I won't show how to connect with it. We'll just show an already connected wallet. So my wallet already has this NFT in it. So if I go here and press go on verify my assets, this wallet right here, my EVM wallet, has this song in it. So it should now, hopefully, give us this new role. And we haven't made a group chat for it yet, so we'll do that right now. But boom, you can see I got both of these two roles. And interesting, there's an ad on their Collab.Land. I don't like that. That's not great. We might need to find a new token gating bot. But for now, that is technically how it could work. And we could add in a little group chat here, little private channel, text, private. We'll call it GSD. Oh, can you not make this capital? I don't think you can. You pick the private group. Boom. And now the folks that have this will have access. If people get this song right now, they would be able to connect their wallet to Collab.Land and join this group chat to talk with this artist, GSD, who he and I will be having a space next tomorrow as well. So super exciting. Oh, it's completely blank. Was it completely blank the whole time? Or were you, do you get it every once in a time? Or?
The song?
No, the image on my screen was completely blank, but maybe that was only for a second.
Oh no, I was seeing everything you were doing. I mean, that is pretty amazing how easy it is to set up a token gated channel.
I started that at 30, right? So like that was 9 minutes, less than 10 minutes. But I did have things set up right? Like, so, you know, that's after you've done that initial 30 minutes, 40 minutes to set up sometimes.
Right. Setting up the bot in the Discord server itself.
Good questions here.
Nice.
Yeah, let me pull it up. So Cookie is asking, what is AI that you can recommend other than ChatGPT and Gemini? Great question. So it totally depends on what you're gonna do, right? AIs, like the traditional AIs, what they call them are LLMs, which stands for large language learning model. One of the things I really like to use with AI, and me and Hurricane are big supporters of this, because I realized also Hurricane was one of their first like clients. Like it was one of their first buys, like of this big product now that was supposed to get bought out but didn't, I guess. But Windsurf. So we use Windsurf, and it's more of a coding platform because it's a coding IDE built in. So it's VS Code. It's a clone of VS Code, which means it's just a copy paste of VS Code, because VS Code is open source, and that's the beauty of open source. Is it really, 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 really pulls forward, in my opinion, technology, because it's like open source is like the definition of like putting your ego aside for the betterment of humanity, in my opinion. Like there's no argument against open source other than like you have your own proprietary information you don't want to give out, and sometimes that's understandable. Totally get it, right? Like because like you could give away a strategic advantage, and most people don't want to do that. But if you can make your business in such a way that you don't give up any strategic advantage by creating your code open source, and in fact, you use it as a leverage and networking point, right, where you can leverage your community to permissionlessly build on top of the network you've created, it's a whole different story. But that goes back to the point. We use Windsurf because it can use every LLM for coding, and you can kind of try different LLMs for different things if you want, and it will change your files, et cetera, et cetera. And but there are a lot of cool other platforms. Oh, okay, for homework. Okay, geez, just ChatGPT. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
old GPT, baby.
I feel like
I wouldn't recommend it as like a learning mechanism, but like at this age, you got to learn from somewhere else. To be honest with you, than like homework. I personally feel, but don't take my advice as under 18-year-old. Do your schoolwork and have to finish that up, because like you have to. And like there are things that are in school that like definitely does teach you, but like you definitely have to make sure you're doing your extracurriculars, right? Like, and that isn't just like sports and these other things. It's like finding ways to like get outside, learn more about other cultures, like whether that is like even if you don't have the ability to travel, learning about like the people around you and like where they come from, right? So I think that there's a lot of cool things that we can do in this age of AI, and I'm very excited for this last quarter here. Yeah, we're gonna rock it out. Like I have a couple cool ideas for this podcast. So one of the things I want to try and get ready, and I have never gotten content properly ready for this enough to send it out. So God knows if I'll ever get this ready. But I want to create a AI agent that's ready and prepared so that we can just go in and change the character file for it for Let's Talk About Web3 kind of living blog, you know, and then that'll be fun to just like play around with, I think.
Okay. Yeah, when it comes to AIs, it seems like I would, you know, from my limited experience, I mean, I have been using AIs for years now, but it seems sort of like there's maybe some that are going to be really good at like building websites, others that are going to be great for coding applications, and then your kind of general, you know, ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok or whatever for just like researching general stuff, whether that applies to homework or, you know, whatever, you know, writing some story or of course image creation. But yeah, I've definitely noticed like ChatGPT, like the longer it's been around and the more money they put into it, it's pretty much been getting worse. Like it's kind of a shame. But
Well, I don't know. I think it is a perspective thing because I have noticed significant improvements from when I started. Like from like when I started in 2013, 2023, like that was my entrance into like starting to really write online more. Like because that changed my ball game because people could not understand my like the way my brain works doesn't cohesively like work for other people. So leveraging ChatGPT then for that like ability of like, okay, I can have it re-explain what I'm thinking in a little more coherent thought was a huge upgrade for me. But then they started to like add the ability to like add files. And that was like, holy crap, like that's a huge upgrade. The ability to like from just being able to like kind of chat back and forth and like that's like the biggest thing that it had initially. Like there's a million things it could do with that chatting back and forth. That was its capabilities, right? And then like they added files and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then they started to make different models and all that naming scheme and like all these different things are for a little bit more advanced AI people than the average consumer, musician, or artist that wants to use it. But let's just say some are slower and take more time and are more deliberate and more thought out for bigger, longer, more planned things. And then others are like you want the quickest answer possible because it's just like you just want a second opinion. You don't need it to be perfectly right, but you just want it fast. And it's all about understanding what tools are out there and what you can use. But then they also added the deep research tool. And that one really was like the biggest upgrade in my opinion, because that was something you could give it a prompt. It would ask you clarifying questions, 3 clarifying questions, and then it would go off for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes trawling the internet and actually like citing sources while it like feeds you this information back. So you can actually go back in and like click on where it's trying to get this information from. And that was a huge upgrade. So like I've noticed, I'm not recently, maybe a little less for sure in the upgrade side, but like I have noticed like this, like GPT going more towards that like general, like they got the moat by like capturing a lot of the audience. And I think that's such a big network effect because the hardest thing for me to do now is switch because like I can just say like today there was a thing where somewhere there on Farcaster, like someone was asking like, oh, I'll help you rewrite your bio. And I was like, okay, GPT, like screenshot the image, tell it like, let's like think more about me, like, and all the things we talked about. And like, let's like give a list of things that like are important to me so that like we can help create this, upgrade my bio. Right. And it was,
I think for like writing and research, it's been steady improvements. I use it a lot for image generation, and there's just been major hits. Like it's gotten more bland, takes longer, fails more. Like a year ago or 18 months ago, I could whip like crazy dope shit up. And I mean, you need to know how to prompt, and I've been doing it for, I'd have to look back and see when I started using it, but at least 3 years. And at first I was using it, I had the idea to like write a sci-fi kind of novel using ChatGPT a little bit. And it would literally forget like the main character and confuse it with other people. So it's way better at like keeping track of that shit now. But, one of the heavy uses for me is image creation, and that has definitely like suffered, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I think the challenge sometimes with that is because OpenAI is a big brand, when they initially release image models, they are very open, right? Like all of the usual guardrails that are there now are not there. Yeah, so sometimes I think that helps with the image generation side, because it's like, oh man, I can like create whatever I want. But then it's like, okay, they have to go back, and because of some copyright things, which
there's a lot of IP
issue, because they're scraping everything, right? It's not it's weird, because it's like they make it worse and they censor it, but at the same time it's all trained on this like IP
even
copyrighted.
Even when I come up with, say, I want a bounty hunter type image, Boba Fett-ish or whatever, even if I say I want like a bounty hunter in this style, and I will say I do not want to infringe on any IP, I just want it in the general theme, it'll often come back and say, oh, we can't create that because of IP. And I'm like, I told you straight up, like, don't infringe on the IP. This is like a general theme.
Bro,
and I'll be arguing with it. I'm like, yo.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but let's talk about thumbnails, bro. It was telling me it's infringing on IP. It's like, there's no way you can be capturing how small our IP is. Like, really? Like, are you like, it's my IP?
Yeah, right. It's my IP.
I have permission.
There's ups and downs.
Open source LLMs are for. Ollama might be worth it actually checking out cookies, because Ollama is open source LLMs, and you just download it. So you can download this like information base, and even if you don't have internet, you could ask it questions. So like if you're on the bus and shit, like if you're on the bus and stuff, right? Like you could continue to like talk with it and have that conversation or finish off whatever you need to do. And most homework things that are out there aren't like things that you necessarily need like the new information on the internet for. You may for some things, and that's like where you'd want those internet like LLMs. But the cool thing is like they've created these like completely like you can do whatever you want with these open source AI LLMs, and it's all downloaded to your computer, and you can get a small one. And
it's dope to run stuff locally, because I mean that's huge. I mean, when I first started image creation with AI, even this is probably at least 4 years ago, I think I downloaded the whole Stable Diffusion to run locally on my PC. And so that was in pretty early days. There wasn't like all this video stuff. It was just like, kind of stills that you could get to like merge and stuff. But it was really dope just having it locally. And I mean, it's a lot to download, but it was a really cool experience just to be able to run that anytime, run stuff for like, and it would take forever too. It'd be like, 30 minutes sometimes at least just for, one prompt to like turn out. And then you're like, nope, I have to change a bunch because I didn't get what I want. And it was, but so it's crazy to see how much it's changed in the last 3-4 years. And it's so exponential that I can barely imagine a year from now, it's going to be like, how do you even, tell? There's going to be, I mean, it already through like, a YouTube feed or whatever, so much of that stuff is like AI created and read and like all this like random, AI stuff out there that at some point they're going to need to like create a filter that's like, I want to see humans and what they're making. Try and weed out some of this just like
there's a camera. There's a camera that's just got like got to some consumers that is like creates a cryptographic like thing where like if the image is altered in any way, it breaks the cryptographic like signature. Okay. So it's like a proof that the image hasn't been altered from the picture.
Right. That's dope.
Yeah, I don't know how the tech works, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's the shit that's going to be needed
Ohnahji,
to
with
know
that very little
if
bit of
something's real.
information, you can go and try and research what that product is. But I can look up where I found it and send it to you so you can have a little bit more info. But yeah, no, it's been a good day. Wednesday's Wavy Wednesday. I'm feeling the podcast, the newsletter a little bit more. I actually released 2 newsletters this week for Wave Wars, so that was big for me. And I'm actually thinking of transitioning into like writing a little bit more longer blogs, like personally off of the ZAO, and like personally just starting my own like thing in addition to our daily things that can be like longer than like 1 minute mindful meditations, and just like more my thoughts on all of this different stuff, and make it more of a journal. And also in that process, start posting more to Farcaster as a journal, because there just is a crazy amount of untapped energy there for our community. And like, there's so much like value generation happening there versus like and signal, where like in a lot of places in crypto it feels like there's more of the majority noise. So that's the cool thing. So it's like you always will get like these different signals to you, and like it's your determination to figure out if that's like a true signal or just noise, right? And yeah, shout out to everyone who popped in today. I know we have to end here soon because he's got to pop in, but appreciate everyone for, like I said, popping in. Appreciate you guys for being with me every week. Like,
heck yeah.
18 is pretty good. Like we're doing this. Like, I think we low key should like take a week off or 2 and make a good plan and call this the end, like season 2. And like, then I can like upload all of them to pods.
Well, then we could outline some of these workshops and stuff that we've been talking about.
Because I like these two workshops. Like, maybe we do first 10 minutes of just chit chatting and we have a plan segment, right? Yeah. I like that a lot more because that makes me a lot more excited. So yeah, I think I like that plan. If we feel like all had a consensus for that, I like the plan. Take 2 or 3 weeks off and make a plan for season 3 to come back with workshops and folks to maybe like they can run workshops, honestly, instead of me each time, so we can like learn something. That'd be even cooler, to be honest.
Heck yeah. And if a conversation or if there's like something really hot that pops up, the day before show, like a workshop can always be pushed to next week if there's like something crazy going on or the chat has a bunch of questions, but it's something that we can have as sort of that staple where we can like kind of like, talk about, what's happened in the last week in the first part, and then move into something where people can be, learning a skill or, learning about a really cool platform or whatever that might be. But yeah, I got to jump because it's 2:30. It's dentist time.
All right. It's good to see you, Easy, man.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, we're jumping off. I appreciate you for popping in here, Freeze, at the end. Feel free to run it back. We'll be here every single week, except for now the next 2 to 3 weeks, because we decided for this specific show we're going to take a couple weeks off and make a little bit more of a plan for bringing people on. But we are looking specifically for now season 3 officially. I'm making the decision. We are looking for people like you to come join us with our expert. So we need our subject matter expert, and we need a panel of new people, whether they're completely new to Web3 or new to streaming, or just like want to get better at all of this stuff and just are interested in a good conversation. They're welcome to stream their POV. We would in fact encourage it, but we are looking for people like you to join in as like a person who can ask questions that maybe the chat has, but like we don't have the opportunity to get to. So yeah. We're out last. I think B might be going live again. Do you want to pitch that in 2 hours?
1 hour. And yeah, 5 o'clock my time, 7 Central. We've got I'll be co-hosting with Dina Coms over at the U. Boss 2.0 is bringing back the Commons, so it's gonna be amazing. So
dude, I have had that in my calendar for 6 months or however long you guys have been off, and it's just like every so often I'm like, oh shoot, I'm missing it, but then I'm like, I would look for it. I'm like, oh yeah, in a minute. We're transitioning, so that's awesome that we're doing the Twitch, and we are rocking it out with a little bit more of the Wednesday vibe. So I will tap in because I used to tap into that and then go into Wavy Wednesday with Hurricane. But that was when I was on the West Coast and it was a little earlier in the day. So no, I'm excited. Thank you, Easy. Thank you, Ohnahji.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone who popped in.
Absolutely.
We'll be back for season 3 and catch you on the flip side.
All right.
Peace.
Tap in with
Peace, y'all.
Ohnahji be in the next 3 weeks because he's streaming every single day.
Heck yes.